Welcome everybody to the next level. My name is Brian Daniels, and we're back. And no, we're not talking about professional wrestling on this show because we're done
Ever
talking about
again.
professional wrestling ever again on this show. However, I'm going to do the cheap pop like we do in professional wrestling. Go catch our new pro wrestling podcast called A Bunch of Marks starting on April 22nd. That's going to be in about a week. And it'll be myself, Josh Thunder Shaver down there, and Cody Rhodes apparently will be there too. And there'll be our friends Eric and my wife Raven. We're all going to talk about pro wrestling. So if you're into that, go give our new show a listen. However, stick around and listen to this episode because we have a very special guest. We haven't done a video podcast in a while. I know it's been a while, but we do make time for special people every now and then that make time for us. And we want to welcome Carl Doninger to the show. Carl, welcome back, man. It's good to have you here.
It is great to be here.
It's great to have you back. And then we got not only does Josh here, we got Big BS who is full of BS. Bryce.
What's happening, everybody?
Bryce
I'm
is
glad
back
to be
with
here.
us.
And
Yes.
Bryce clearly has no green in his shirt.
I know, not at all. Not at all. I love the all that shirt, by the way.
I just realized it was all that too.
I
Pretty
totally
dope,
dig that shit. So, if you don't know what we're here to talk about, it's on Carl's hat. We're here to talk about PopCon.
And the shirt.
And the shirt. Oh, you know, he's a walking billboard everywhere he goes.
It's my entire wardrobe.
That's yeah, just that's
You
all
got
he's
your
got.
own merch.
Hats and shirts and even some crazy shorts and everything. It's all got PopCon on it. I want to say first and foremost, Carl, man, this is the 11th PopCon. I know I said it last year when we celebrated 10, but now we're making our way to 20. I know that's a ways off, but we're getting there. This is the 11th PopCon in Indianapolis, and this is probably one that I look the most forward to every single year. I go to a ton of conventions every year, and I know my March was pretty busy. I had 3 in that month. And this is the only one I'm going to be at this month in Indy. Carl, for those who don't know, who may have never been to PopCon, over there, let the folks at home know what the hell is PopCon, Carl. What's it all about? Let us know. Let us know.
Yeah, let me know.
We are PopCon is what a comic book convention grew up and became. So how about that? We're true pop culture across the board. Everything you could think
I would
of.
agree with that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So they're going to be able to find a little bit of everything here, right?
That is true. So
fair to say.
Sci-fi, fantasy, anime, cosplay, lots of TV and movie content, a lot of, but then a lot of activities. So not only do we have an ungodly amount of celebrities coming in this year, and we're talking big celebrities. We've got an entire international film festival. We have live podcast stage and podcast awards. We have laser tag, esports, virtual reality, tabletop gaming, lots of tabletop gaming.
Wow.
Virtual reality, if I didn't already say that one. A professional darts we've added recently.
Yep.
And then we also have world-class magicians that are going to be performing all weekend.
Wow.
The musicians from last year, that was something that
and an escape room.
Can't forget escape room. Yep, can't forget that.
Yeah, that covers everything.
Yeah, I'm looking. So let's get the obvious out of the way. The celebrity guest, right? That is the draw, if you will. That's to get the people to your show. I'm running down here. I want to tell you guys something. You guys blew it out of the water again. Like you guys, I mean, not to say you don't have good guests because you do, but man, dude, you guys like hit like grand slam after grand slam here. Let's take a look at the guests. So not only did they get Elijah Wood, Andy Serkis,
I'm looking at
Lord of the Rings. You also got some, man, I'm so glad you guys got some Breaking Bad people. Breaking Bad is my all-time favorite TV show. So I don't know if you're stalking what I watched on.
I was just in New Mexico back in January. I was out there.
Oh, you were? Nice, dude. But we got Dean Norris coming.
He is a Hoosier. I got to call that one out. Dean Norris.
Hey,
I did not know that.
That's amazing. Yeah. And then you've got, Johnny Young Bosch is going to be here as well from, you got Power Rangers. You got to bring some Power Rangers. I know that every time we do that, thing you guys do. My buddy Kenny's like, you better bring some Power Rangers.
Love the Rangers. Yep.
We went 1 year without a Power Ranger, and we still don't hear the end of it. So
exactly. and you're probably not going to hear the end of it. And then you also got Salah Baker too from Lord of the Rings as well, and he's also in the Mandalorian, which I didn't know that as well. Yeah. You also got Jim Cummings coming back. He's been there before. Voice of Winnie the Pooh, Darkwing Duck.
Winnie the Pooh.
Yep. You guys are bringing back Dante Bosco.
Yep.
Which he was a treat to talk to. If you don't know who that is, he is Rufio.
Mm-hmm.
John Barrowman. You got RJ Mitt, also from Breaking Bad. I mean, you guys got so many people. I'm just looking through here, man.
Yeah, you're not even halfway
huge.
through yet.
It's huge.
I'm not even halfway through. Yeah,
I'm glad this is my first one. This is going to be my.
We've got 5 people from Arrow. We've got 2 people from Flash. We've got 3 people from Breaking Bad. We have Star Wars people, 4 Power Rangers. The entire Lintz family is coming, and if you don't know who they are, you will when you see them. But they've been in Bosch and Walking Dead and Under the Dome and the new Miss Marvel, and they've been in lots of fun things lately. But Colt Haynes, who is an internet phenomenon, he's got gazillions on Instagram at least. My favorite anime. Who's your favorite?
I would say my personal favorite that I'm most excited for. You guys tried to bring him to Louisville, and I think he canceled, but he's going to be at PopCon Indy.
Let me guess, David Hayter.
Oh, dude, yeah, man.
Solid Snake.
Yes, I'm going to bring my copy of Metal Gear Solid 2 and have him sign it.
So this is our 4th, I think, time contracting him, but he is so ridiculously busy and popular that he always ends up with a professional commitment. So I'm knocking on wood that you did not just jinx us.
Well, we're about a week away. I mean, sort of. So like
that doesn't mean
but that don't mean anything. We know. Yep, we know. That'll mean nothing. That means nothing.
Brian, don't do this to us, Brian.
Please don't blame me. But yeah, you guys just have a really stacked. I want to talk about obviously the Lord of the Rings guys. Did you guys when you guys are putting together? I think I've asked you. I feel like I've asked you every single question I can ask you. So like when I have you on, I'm like, what the hell do I ask him? Because like I feel like I've asked it all. When you were planning, let's talk about the planning of the show for
sure.
When does planning begin for the next one?
Already has.
Well, no, I mean as in. Okay, let me reformulate.
No, I'm telling you, the planning for the next year happens before the current year happens. How about that?
So
that's smart. That's genius.
So you're already starting for 2025 now.
Correct.
Okay. Perfect. Okay. What is there like a when you're planning? Because I don't have too many convention owners on here. What is like the first thing that you want to make sure you knock out of the way besides like the dates of the show? Like what is it like?
It's tied with the dates. It's the space itself. You have to contract with the event space itself. Yeah. That's always number one, because without dates, nothing else matters. You can't get hotel contracts. You can't get celebrity contracts. Mm-hmm. So you need your event location, and that comes with dates. Yep.
Do you guys, I know a lot of conventions have like, they're contracted for so many years. Are you guys already contracted for so many years at the convention center now?
Not in the way in which you're asking it. No. So most convention centers, Indianapolis included, is defined by how many hotel room nights you sell in a given year. And the more hotel room nights you sell allows you to book earlier than other people. So the huge citywides like FFA or Gen Con, the ones that bring people in globally every year or nationally every year, those are just the 2 off the top of my head. We have way more than that. They get a lot of preferential treatment to go further into the future because they sell out all of hotel rooms.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And we're working on that. That is our goal. Every year we are trying to increase our hotel room night stays so that we can end up booking further out. That's absolutely the case.
That's great.
And it helps out Indianapolis. It's a win.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean,
our hotel space has been growing too.
Yeah.
Yes. Huge
in part to you guys.
So I got to ask you this because this is very important. So Caitlin Clark got picked number 1 last night
Yes.
for the Fever. So
Go
what do
Big
you
Ten.
how do you anticipate that to affect and impact PopCon, since you guys are down there too? And I know the Fever season tends, sometimes it'll correlate during your show or maybe even before.
See, now you're making me
see
think that I should reach out to her agents and bring her to PopCon next
I
week.
think that would be a fantastic idea, actually.
Oh boy.
It doesn't sound possible in my head as I'm walking through.
Hey, anything's possible. You guys got
anything.
Markiplier there, for goodness sakes.
Yeah.
I mean, you never know.
Caitlin Clark is a force.
Yeah.
And there's nothing bad that will come from Caitlin Clark being in Indianapolis. How about that?
Yeah.
No, I
Or
I
hotels.
had to bring that up because, like, I mean, you saw the ticket sales for Iowa games. I mean,
well, from what little I know in reading headlines, the first Fever game was sold out before the draft for hundreds of dollars a seat, like many hundreds of dollars for the rafters, just to be at Caitlin Clark's first game. Yeah. She is going to be an entire thing. Yes.
Wow.
She already is an entire thing.
I'm glad she's here then.
I mean, for the city of Indianapolis, a friend of mine posted after the draft last night, not knowing when anybody's watching this, but the draft was last night for the time we're speaking on this.
Sure. Yeah, we're recording now, but yeah,
somebody said that we have a new Peyton Manning, and I believe that is true. We have another Peyton Manning.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I was watching her play because it's crazy, like, that people have been saying. I know we're kind of deviating a little bit, but it ties together to Indy.
Love Indianapolis. We can talk about that all day long.
Been watching her play, and I'm like, wow, wait, I'm watching women's basketball. I never watch women's basketball, so she's already doing what she's supposed to do.
Doing what she's supposed to do.
But I watched her play. I'm like, she kind of reminds me, because I do watch a lot of NBA, and I was like, man, she reminds me of Steph Curry. Just the way she plays, the way she shoots. She's such a dedicated 3-point shooter, but
just
to have her
3-pointers,
I mean, she broke the record for the most points in, like, women's NCAA Division I basketball. That's a lot, and she even broke the men's too.
I was going to say, I think it didn't matter which side we were talking about. Yeah, broke.
She's the all-time leading point scorer in all of.
She was the first Division I. She was the first NCAA athlete in basketball to break 3,000.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I think that was the number that I heard.
And I really am excited to see how this is going to impact the city of Indy, because now, especially since you guys do run a business, right? This convention is a business down there. Are you excited for what this could mean for the city of Indy downtown and for PopCon as that relates to your convention?
There's no other answer, but yes. The more successful the Pacers, the Fever, the 11, the Colts, any of these teams are. Sorry if I missed one of your teams. But the more successful they are, the more people are excited about Indianapolis, the more press that Indianapolis gets, and by happenstance, we can latch onto that. So yeah. Absolutely.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say, because I mean, right now with the sports, and I promise we're gonna get right into PopCon again, but with the sports, you've got Anthony Richardson on the Colts, young and thriving, talented QB, Tyrese Halliburton and the Pacers are now in the playoffs, and then now she's coming. It's kind of like Indy's getting like a sports renaissance now again, where it's the place to be for sports, and even more so now. So I'm excited for what this is going to mean for not just PopCon, for any businesses down in my hometown. So yeah, it's exciting. I want to know, you guys have been running this show for 11, for 11 shows now. Are there still things that is there anything you don't look forward to having to do when planning a convention again? Is there just like that one thing, like, oh, I got to do this again? Or,
I think we talked about this last time. It's the amount of graphics that we have to produce every time.
Oh yeah.
Is what I don't look forward to. So when you see all our social media or our emails or banners, the celeb banners that will be behind all the celebrities this weekend or next weekend, it's all produced by a human being, and that human being is typically me, at least currently. Wow. So it gets redundant. That part does get redundant.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's understandable.
It's for a good reason, because if I'm making a banner for Andy Circus, okay.
Right. That's a very cool thing to have to do for a job.
That is, no kidding. What is it about? So I know you go to conventions. I've seen you at other cons before. what is it that sets what sets PopCon so aside from the other shows? Like, I know, there's like Indiana Comic Convention, Gen Con, there's been other conventions that have been in Indy. Like, I know they did Wizard World many years ago. What is it that sets PopCon though aside from those other shows? Not that they're bad, but like what sets them aside?
That's always a difficult, because there are things that I could clearly say, but I won't.
Sure.
Because they're all brother and sister events, and
absolutely, yeah.
And we're all trying to make people happy by putting on events like ours. I would say the higher level answers are very streamlined registration, very streamlined guest management. So I don't like putting people in lines longer than they have to be. So we have tried to become very good at it. We have lots of activities going on. So if you are bored at PopCon, you are really not trying.
Absolutely.
I like that. Yeah.
It's funny
because there at some conventions, there is a lot of line standing and what the hell am I doing?
The central focus, as Brian mentioned, you can't have an event our size without bringing in big name talent, because that's what draws the crowds.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But drawing the crowds and putting them in a line it should not be the end all. In a lot of events, that is the end all. We have witnessed that recently, and it doesn't work. It only upsets people.
No.
And that's not what PopCon's about. We of course want you to stand in the line for the person that you want to meet, or all of them. But that shouldn't be half your day. That shouldn't be.
No.
We're going to do our best to make sure that that's not half your day. How about that? And then, so you can go play VR, or you can jump into the escape room, or you can sit down for a fan panel.
I like that.
Or you can watch a bunch of movie shorts from countries all over the world that sent them in. There's just so much else going on that, yes, please go meet the celebrities, because it would cost us money if you don't.
I mean, I can't wait for my first time. I mean, I'm looking at the list and hearing you talk about it, I'm excited. I mean, I've been excited.
Yeah. So that's really what I think separates us, is we're a convention evolved. How about that?
Yeah, you guys always try to do something different. Like, I was telling the guys before we started that I had never been to a drag show at a con. And I think that was last year the first year for that?
Second
year for that, yeah. Yep. I go to these every year, and I'm like, they kind of sometimes they kind of meld together a little bit. And I thought that was awesome that you guys had a drag show. And you're bringing the drag show back this year.
Yes.
Which I love to see. I will say I love the diversity. I think that's something that I really appreciate that you guys offer, is there is truly something for everybody there. And I've always told people that if you go to PopCon and you just don't, if you don't find something, then I'll tell you, like, that there's, like, because.
And I used to do security for drag shows, so if anybody needs somebody to bounce,
well, no,
big BS here.
I like the word diversity, but we need to make sure that that's all encompassing. So
absolutely, yes,
I want to define the word diversity. We are a true cross section of the Midwest, and if not the country. So we have the people that will absolutely love to go to a drag show, but we also have the other side that won't be within 50 feet of that door, and that's okay too.
Yeah, it's fine.
We've got other stuff going on. You can go.
You guys have
enjoy a magic show.
Yeah, there's like, I mean, that's the thing too, is like, for me, it's I'll give you an instance. I don't understand the darts. I don't understand. I want to talk with you about that, because I want to understand it. I do. I'm not gonna like hate on it, but like I want to understand, because that's another thing. Like, when you guys announced the darts, I was like, darts?
Right. So let's jump into that.
That's different.
It is. It is. But
yeah.
But this, I will explain it in the way that this whole conversation started.
Yeah.
If we're going to talk and brag about Caitlin, then we've got a dart player in the United States that is the Caitlin of darts.
Okay.
So if we're talking about bringing Caitlin in for an event, why not bring in the dart player that is that good at his sport? So it was an opportunity that quite literally fell in our lap, and we said, yes, let's give it a shot. We had upper amateur yo-yo players, so they weren't making money on it, I don't think, but they were really, really, really good yo-yo. And we're not talking go to Walmart, buy a yo-yo and flip it around. We're talking these kids and adults were so good at it that you couldn't but stop and watch them play.
Yeah.
And I have a feeling that because I haven't seen it either, but I have a feeling that if we see how ridiculously talented and consistent these dart players are, you're going to be inspired to view darts in the United States differently. Because I have learned through them that darts is way bigger on the rest of the planet, and in true United States fashion, we have shrugged it off.
Yeah.
We think of it as a bar sport, and we play with plastic.
That's how I feel about it.
Words.
You're right. You're right.
But for the rest of the world, akin to soccer, aka football, it's way bigger everywhere else than here. I would say shame on us. So let's give it a shot.
Okay.
I love every point you made.
And to bring it around, as I said, when I come to PopCon, and for me, I guess it's kind of like I'm spoiled. I get to go to all these shows. But even before I was in the world of covering conventions over a decade ago, I was still that person that was like, but like, okay, celebrities, that's easy. Like anybody can get, anybody can get celebrities if they have the funds to do so. So I'm more of I have more of a show me attitude. Like, show me what else you're made of. Because sure, like you said, I can go stand in a line and treat it like it's King's Island and just stand in lines all day and get my autographs and leave.
And I don't want to suggest that people are going to be able to avoid lines. That's not possible.
Oh no, that's
right. It's going to happen.
Our goal again is to make sure that you're not in a line longer than you need to be.
Right.
We're not going to create artificial problems that keep you in the line longer than you need to be. That's my point. Yeah.
My thing is what else do you have, right? And that's kind of how I've looked at, and that's how I treat, because like when I review conventions or give my thoughts, I don't ever bring about like, oh, they didn't have this person, they should have, oh, why didn't they get this person? Because then it comes off as bias. I don't do that. So for me, it's about, but what do you really have to offer, right? And so with you guys have done a lot of different stuff. You've had esports arenas, you've had professional wrestling, which I wish you would bring back professional wrestling. I want pro wrestling back.
Well, did you were at the
I was there
event last month?
I was
the
there
one that I'm not gonna say a lot, but that group is coming to PopCon this year.
Oh my gosh, are they Indy?
Watch out.
Yeah.
Oh, let's go. Well, that's what I'm talking about. Good.
Right on our main strip. We got wrestling.
Nice.
All right, I'm excited. So we're gonna have some pro wrestling.
But we're not allowed to talk about that on this podcast anymore, remember?
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah. You said it before I could, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we can't. Oh, that's right. That's right. I can't talk. No, we can talk about it if it pertains to that. That's cool though that you guys are bringing them back, or having some pro wrestling there.
Yep.
But no, you guys always do something different. Like I thought it was really cool. I think it was 2016 when you had Kevin Smith and Harley there, and you did the big premiere. And I know you guys that just came about pretty on the scene, if I remember.
It was just perfect. It was perfect storm time. Yep.
But you guys are always trying to do stuff that's different, like the secret games.
Yep.
That was amazing. You guys took something that is big pop culture and you made it your own.
Yep.
I can't say that out of the 13 cons I went to a few years ago that anybody else had that but you.
Well, that's because we're nuts. But
that's right.
Just to define secret games, if anyone has seen the Netflix series Squid Game, we took our own US spin on it without the murder, death, kill. And I hope that's not a spoiler 3 years later. But we have our own US version games of it, but the winner, instead of a bazillion dollars, gets a lifetime badge to PopCon, which I think is worth more than $1 million.
Which is definitely a gazillion $1 billion anyway, if you look at it. But yeah, you guys did that. That was a lot of fun. I almost won that year. It's fine.
Yes, you did.
But that was a lot of fun to participate in. You guys are doing like magic shows. I mean, that's like a thing that I never in a million years dreamed that I would encounter at a convention. But that's what excites me. Like when I go to a show that, and we're not going to name anything, but you can probably think of a few too, where I'm just, all right, celebrities, and then there's like even vendors are kind of boring. You guys are in touch with the scene.
There is a particular vibe that a lot of conventions forget to strive for. Mm-hmm. There's when you walk into an event and you walk into the vendor hall there, or into a fan panel room or any of our other rooms, there's a particular vibe that a lot of events just forget that is what the real goal is. Fun is the goal.
Yeah.
And if you're not having fun, that's when we're not doing our job.
No, you're not. What is it that you personally, obviously outside of making money and people having fun, what is it that you
I'm waiting on that first part still, but yeah, go ahead.
What is it that you do you have like a memory that you want to share with us that kind of I know I've seen you cry before on TV.
Yeah, you're gonna do it to me again.
I'm gonna do it to you again.
Yeah. It happens almost once a year. In fact, it happens pretty much once a year because I look out for it. But
that's awesome, man.
Parents or grandparents often bring kids, whether they're young kids under the age of 10 or if they're in high school or even college, but the parents end up getting drug along with the super geek, the somebody that is just bouncing around like a pinball in a pinball machine. And the parent or grandparent will be standing on the back wall of the main stage, and they're not even sitting down, or they're 30 feet away, but you can tell exactly who they're watching, doing VR or playing a tabletop game, but they're there hovering like they got drug along. So I make a point of going up and talking to them without them knowing remotely who I am. And we just start talking. It's like, who are you here with? What are you doing? And the gist of, and I'm telling it in a way, Brian, that I'm not going to cry because you do it to me every time. So
I do.
So we just hit it off, and I asked them what they have done at PopCon. And they say, "Oh no, really nothing. I'm just here because my kid's here, or my grandson, or my granddaughter's here.
Yeah.
I'm their cosplay chauffeur, or whatever." And I say, "Well, have you tried this, or have you done that? Have you gone to see the magic? Have you sat down in the film festival room? Have you played a board game?" And they're like, "Oh no, I haven't tried any of that." And come Sunday, some of them come seek me out and said, "I'm so glad that I talked to you because I did this and I tried that." And sometime, and then in the future years, I will see that adult there without their kids anymore because they're still coming to PopCon because of just that simple personal interaction and them realizing that they are allowed to have fun too.
Right. Nice. Beautiful.
Yeah. Parents, if you come, which you should, I encourage. I know that parents like to drop their, they'll drop like a group of teenagers off, say, "Hey, go." No, go with your kids.
Yep.
It doesn't mean you have to be with your kids the whole time.
And that's what I loved about going to convention was just being able to experience so many different things in one place. Like when I would look through the list of events online, I'm like, wow, I've never even heard of these types of things. So I'm just going to go $2, $4, $5, whatever, and just experience some new things and that's what I loved about the conventions. and I'm excited to go to the PopCon for that experience again.
Yeah, I'm gonna be putting out a video where I kind of talk about the do's and don'ts of going to conventions because I've been to so many. I would say for sure what you should do is obviously get your list of things you want to do, right? Because conventions, right, they can be pretty overwhelming. I know Carl will agree. They can get pretty overwhelming. You see that list and you're like, oh my God, what do I do? Like, where do I go? Especially if you've never ever been to. I think every year I go, I have encountered a couple or a family that PopCon was their very first time.
And we'll have a lot of those.
It's hard to figure out. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I'll just tell them like, well, here's what I recommend. And I'm gonna tell you guys listening to this. Find some things that you know for a fact you're gonna enjoy. But then also pick a few things that you're kind of like, I've never done this before, so I'm gonna go do it. And just do it. Just do it. Because for me, it's like I'm not the kind of person like when I go and go to these shows, I think you kind of need to open yourself up for discovery. That's what a convention's all about.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
It's not. I mean, it is like, hey, I want to come here and I know I'm going to see these people. Like I don't want to go to PopCon. I know I'm going to see Brandon, KJ, you, Les, my family basically that's there.
Yep.
So that's what I look forward to. However, not only am I looking forward to seeing my favorite people every time I go, I'm also looking forward to the unknown of like, ooh,
the new experience.
What is the new
There's
thing?
always
like
something.
Yeah, like I know one year you guys had like a paranormal crossroad there. I thought that was freaking awesome that you guys had like a paranormal show.
Yep.
I'm like, I thought I was at a horror con. I totally forgot. I remember sitting there with Raven because KJ invited us to come to her show. And I was like, all right. And I'm not big into like paranormal at all. I'm not. Raven, however, is huge into it. So she's like, let's go. KJ invited us, gotta go. I'm like, all right. So, but isn't that kind of how it always is anyway? One person's like, and then you go and you're like, oh, this is really cool. And so I actually forgot because the show was like an hour long. We left and I totally forgot that I was at PopCon because I think I said a different convention, and we get press passes. It all has your art on it, and I was like, PopCon, wait, oh my God, yeah, we are. But I think that's when you guys do a good job because when I realize, oh wait, this is PopCon, that makes it even better for me because then you guys have done such a great job in introducing other worlds to people because that's what a convention's all about. It's discovering new worlds, trying new things. I recommend, and I know to a lot of people that can make them a little anxious. Like, I don't know if I want to step outside. I encourage you, if you're ever gonna do it anywhere, do it at PopCon.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do it at specifically at this show. Because for me, once again, I'm not here to rag on any of their shows or any of their events. I'm not going to do that. But the one thing I notice is a lot of the other shows do like maybe one thing good, and the rest of it's kind of like, and then I find myself having more bad things to say than good things to say. Whereas at PopCon, not that you guys are perfect, because I'm sorry, Carl, you're not.
Oh no.
He knows he's not. I was messing with him, but for me, it's wait a minute. I actually did this, and this. Yeah, this could have been a little better, but I look at all the things I have to talk about. Look at all the good experiences I get to have. I know it's kind of hard for you to say, I will say what I think sets PopCon apart from other shows is that you guys are a locally ran show that is in touch with the state of Indiana, not just the city of Indianapolis, but you are in touch with the city of Indy, the state of Indiana, the Midwest, like you said. It's the crossroads of America, quite literally. You guys are trying your best and your damnedest to find everything you can for a person so that, like we said before, if you leave and you didn't find anything, you didn't turn over, you forgot to turn over a couple stones because you probably missed out on something. I know for me, and I've said this before, there's a lot of shows where I think with PopCon, if you're going to fully, and I'm not saying this because I'm not trying to make people buy tickets, but please go get tickets. I'll say it like that. I don't get anything from it. But I think if you're really gonna enjoy this show, you need to go. I would say at least Friday, Saturday, because Sunday's the more. I mean, if you're looking for a real laid back, chill day, go Sunday.
Well,
But
we're
throw yourself in there all 3 days if you can, because it's worth it. It's
we're flipping that on its head a little bit this year, Brian, because Elijah's panel is not until Sunday.
Oh well, there you go. There you go.
And Andy's is on Saturday. Elijah's is on
See, now you
Sunday.
have reasons to go all days. You gotta go. You gotta go.
Beautiful.
Just go. That's even better. Do you guys have like
be there Saturday?
When you guys are looking for, when you guys are looking for guests, were they like your number one target this time for Indy? Was like, okay, we're gonna shoot for like the Lord of the Rings guys, is like, because I feel like those are definitely your headlining people.
Absolutely.
Without a doubt.
There was no target. So we had several options, and when you're getting people that are that level of movie star, you have to work off of their schedule. And Elijah initially came back as a yes, and then we also got Andy later that same day saying yes, that he was available. And Chris and I, the other co-owner, were on the phone, and we both almost said simultaneously, "Should we get them both?" And we said, "Okay, let's do this. We're nuts," because just those two celebrities of our 40s are more expensive than any two combined previous year's budgets for celebrities.
Are you serious?
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
Okay.
So it's big for us. It is. That's
big.
PopCon is growing up. So we're doing our darndest to become truly one of the big boys.
Yeah, I know you guys I know you guys don't like release show numbers every year, but I don't think many conventions even do that anyway. But I notice when I go, you guys are definitely growing as a show. And let's go ahead and talk now about Louisville. Because we're obviously gonna talk about Indy because that's the one coming up now. Which the Indy one is the 26th to the 28th. You've got Louisville coming up into August. So let's talk about Louisville. What was Louisville like for you guys last year? Well, you haven't had this conversation, but what was that experience being in another big city? Because I know you guys did Fort Wayne, smaller city. What was that experience like for you guys after Louisville? We haven't talked about this at all, so I'm very curious.
We haven't. So we are incredibly excited about the potential in Louisville. I'll just start it there. Whereas in Indianapolis, our own backyard, we have quite a bit of competition. In Louisville, we don't.
No, you don't.
So as long as we can get the word out, Louisville has an incredible potential, and we're really excited about that. Our first year was last year. We treated it like a first-year event, so we didn't put a ton of money we were potentially going to lose behind it.
Sure.
And so I don't think we got the word out well because of our own apprehension. So this year we have eliminated said apprehension, and we're going full thrusters after next weekend, after Indy.
Nice.
With getting the word out. We've already got several offers out to some bigger names. And we're really excited about that. So knock on wood that one of our headliners is going to say yes real soon, because I want to announce that at Indy this next week. So I want to, because two of them would greatly benefit from people in Indy hearing who they can now meet in August. So we have moved from the fairgrounds, which is a great facility, but it's not connected to anything. Which we learned kind of stole that PopCon vibe that I was talking about earlier.
Yeah.
We could not mimic the that feeling that you get when you're in an event in that building. So we've moved it to the downtown convention center where you can walk to 4th Street Live, where you can walk to restaurants and your hotels, and it's all completely walkable. So when we were at the fairgrounds, people left the building and never came back.
Yeah.
It's so weird.
No, I get it. Yeah.
But downtown, you'll be able to come and go all times of day and be able to go get food right across the street, like really right across the street.
Yeah.
And come right back and enjoy the next thing. So we're excited about bringing the PopCon vibe that hasn't been experienced in Louisville, even though we've done it once.
Yeah, I had, for those who don't know, Carl and I talk quite often throughout the year, and I've been bugging Carl, like, Carl, get down here and get down here and get down here. Just bring it down here. And there was one year where you messaged me while I was at Galaxy, kind of like, so how's that show going? And I was like, it's pretty good. My thing with Louisville, because I had heard, I hear it a lot, some people were, and I'm just like, well, the problem is the town of Louisville is it's a great city. It's just the thing that I tend to notice, and this is me saying this. This is not like how PopCon or Carl feels, but this is me as someone who's lived down here for 5 years in the area. The town, it's like the idea of having a show is like, yeah, we want we want conventions, and I'm like, well, I'm trying to get one to come down here, and if they come down here, you guys better go. And I've been telling people that since I lived down here. I was like, I'm trying to get one down here. I'm trying to get them to come down here. And then what happens is, and this doesn't just happen to PopCon. This happens at like there's smaller cons that come through here too. And the problem is the people, it's like some of the people, they're like, the idea of having a con is great, and then they don't go. And it's like, but you realize if you don't go, they're not going to come back. And not to say you're not going to come back, because obviously you're coming back in August, 23rd through 25th. Those are the dates. It's for me, I find it kind of funny because I'm just like, guys, come to this one though. If you're going to not, fine, don't go to those shows, whatever. Go to this one. Go to this one.
I'm not even going to argue you. That is true for any city that you go to.
It is. Yeah.
You can't shoot your own foot by wanting something and then not supporting it.
Absolutely. Yeah, Absolutely. No kidding. And the thing is too, is I have the utmost respect for what you guys do. I've talked to several con owners. I have friends that are con owners like you, and it's just like, what you guys have to do. It's a 365 a day job. Mm-hmm. And you don't get downtime very much. It's the next year, because it's coming. And for me, it's like, I love PopCon. PopCon you guys have been in my life for I would say almost a fourth of my life. Isn't that nuts? To think about it, as I turn 40 next month. So for me,
just a baby.
Yeah. But it's just, it's wild to think about that, you guys are so in touch with the fandoms. You guys do an excellent job with, you guys have had some killer after parties I've got to go to. You guys do great jobs with the events. We talked about the secret games. You've got a drag show. I'm looking forward to what you guys are going to be cooking up. I know I got all the people in the Louisville PopCon group are like, do you know? I'm like, I don't work there, no. And even if I did know, I probably wouldn't be able to tell you anyway. So, but trust and believe the information is coming. I know Carl's ready to let it all out of the bag too. But I think that it's, for me, it's just this journey of, I can't say that I got to go to every Gen Con. I can't say I've been to every, Wizard World or what all the other ones, that I go to. I've been to every single PopCon. The only one I didn't go to was Fort Wayne. Outside of that, I've been to all of them. So to see where you guys came from when I tell people this, they're like, they did what? And I'm like, yeah, you guys were a kick-started convention, which is insane to still say that. I do visit that throughout the years. I'm like, I pull up that old page and see the goals and stuff. And I'm like, man, I'm so proud of these guys, seeing where you came from. Nice. And to where you guys are now, you just said it. Your PopCon's almost a teenager. Isn't that crazy? You guys are almost 13 years old. You're almost a teenager now, right?
We have to
So
get your 12 first.
yeah, get to 12.
Terrible
Right, you will.
12s.
No, you will. But it's been fun to just sit back and just see you guys where you came from that show. I still have pictures from that show. I'm just looking. I'm like, man, like, and to where you guys are now is just I love seeing it, man. Like I might be the one getting emotional tonight on this one, but like but just to see where you guys have went and came from has just been such a treat to experience. And to get to be a part of that world every year and now twice a year, which is even better, has just been an exciting thing. I gotta ask you though. I gotta ask
long lead up to this question.
I gotta ask, where do you guys go from here? I mean, you're doing a second city. This is the second year. Is this do you see taking the PopCon brand and turning that into a multi-city? Because I know with the website it says here's where you can find us, and I'm noticing the little things. Is that something that you can see maybe 5 years down the road, 10 years down the road when you guys get there? Is that kind of a goal you have in mind? Is like, we're not just stopping at Louisville. Maybe we'll do a Cincinnati, and maybe we'll do somewhere else.
Yes. So the website redesign was not by mistake. That's for sure.
No, it wasn't. I know. I pay attention.
But no, in order, like I said, we want to play with the big boys. So that's we're competing directly with C2, E2, and kicking their ass this year. So, but corporate cons love them. But our celeb lineup just crushes theirs. If our second event, I didn't necessarily want it to be as close in proximity, in distance, I should say, not proximity in time, to Indianapolis. That wouldn't have been my first choice, because we're geographically very close. It's a 2-hour drive if you're going slow, and but it fell in our lap, and we couldn't say no. So we're the game in town in Louisville, and we're going to give it our best shot. If Louisville and Indy, if Louisville becomes successful and Indianapolis remains successful, yes, we will definitely spread out, but I'm guessing it will not be in the Midwest. Yeah. So we've been a national/international brand for years.
Of course.
Since our very first show, people were flying in from all over the world to come to PopCon, especially our second year. Oh my goodness, it was crazy how many people flew in from all over the world for the person that you already named that I'm not even going to say out loud. But
yeah, that was insane.
So yes, the answer is yes. If we're successful in our two cities and we want to remain relevant and grow amongst our own peers, we have to continue adding new cities.
Oh, is he a doggy? Well, Carl, it's not if, it's you will be. I'm gonna put that out there. I gotta put out
I sure hope that's right.
The positivity, because I'm sure that when you guys we talked a little bit about this last time, because when we last talked, we hadn't had Louisville yet. I know it can get kind of, I would say a little fearful, maybe a little you're in uncharted waters. You're in a city you're not really familiar with. You're definitely outside of the comforts of Indianapolis, which you're used to, and a whole different audience and people, and you're familiar with them. What's that been like for you, getting to know the city of Louisville? How let me actually start with this. How familiar were you with the city of Louisville before PopCon? And now how's that familiarity grown since you've been with PopCon there now?
Yeah. So shame on me, but before we went to visit the Fairgrounds Convention Center, I'd maybe I'd only stopped in Louisville maybe 3 times in my entire life.
Yeah.
And I've lived in Indianapolis my entire life. So shame on me. But since then, I've grown to really, really enjoy Louisville. It's a great city, and there's so much that it has to offer that Indianapolis doesn't, and vice versa. So it's a very different vibe, and it's been fantastic learning it. I mean, I've got my Louisville whiskey stones right here. So that you just throw them, you throw them in the freezer, drop them in your whiskey, because of course, what else? Louisville whiskey and
Bourbon, baby. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
and Louisville Slugger. Don't forget baseball. But it's been a pleasure, and the city has warmed up to the idea of us after many conversations that that we're not a fly by the night. Brian, you alluded to some come and go events that they've had in the recent past. We proved to them last year that we were serious about wanting to build something real in Louisville, and they've warmed up to the concept and are really helping us out this year, which is how we were able to move to downtown as quickly as we did. So it's going to be great. Louisville's going to be great. I love it.
Yeah. No, I'm excited because Louisville kind of reminds me a little bit of Indy in that sense. Like, you've got the the East End over there, Bardstown Road, which I always tell people that reminds me of Broad Ripple. Going up and down there, the Whiskey Row, you said Louisville Slugger Museum's right down the street there. The Science Center, you got the Performing Arts Center, the Center, all that's right there. I'm really glad that you guys are now downtown, because I remember my big criticism was, and I know that, I don't know, were you guys originally trying to get downtown? I think, I don't remember if you had told me this or not, but was the plan always the fairgrounds, or was it like you want to do that or not?
It went back to budget. The fairgrounds was in the budget.
Okay, that's what I thought.
The downtown convention center is significant price difference to the fairgrounds convention center.
I definitely believe that. Well, I mean, it's a state of the art convention center.
It's completely remodeled. So
it's such a have you? I'm assuming you've walked through there already and been up and down there. Yeah, that's such a beautiful place, and it saddens me too, because I'm like, every time I drive past there, I'm like, before you guys had came to Louisville, I was like, just wish PopCon was there to go there again, because
it's very different in that regard. So where is the Kentucky Kentucky Exhibition Center, which is the fairgrounds?
Yeah, the fairgrounds.
It's a massive facility. It's bigger than the Indiana Convention Center, but the one downtown is PopCon sized. So we're, other than the ballroom, I think we've got the rest of the building. So it's going to be everything in the downtown convention center, the Kentucky International Convention Center, is pretty much going to be PopCon, as far as I understand it, at least.
Yeah.
So once you walk in, it's all PopCon, baby.
Yeah, and what's cool too is you guys are Indiana born and bred, and you still are right there by Indiana still. I mean, there's a bridge that goes from a town called Jeffersonville.
Yeah.
It's actually a walking bridge. So if you happen to live on that side of the river, you can still walk across. I don't recommend walking to PopCon. It's still kind of far from there, but it's just right there. So you still get like the best of both worlds. And I know that for me, since I live in that Kentuckiana area, that's what I like about being down here, is you got the big river and you got the boats you can get on, and you can go to Louisville, you can come back over to Jeffersonville, or even New Albany and Clarksville, and the three towns over here. And that's what I dig about it. So you're still going to get those Indiana people, maybe, hopefully some people from Indianapolis, because it's not that long of a drive. I drive.
It is not. Yeah.
I drive all the time. I'm driving it tomorrow, but I'll be in Indy tomorrow, actually.
And as long as we get some contracts back, there will be some incentive for.
Hey, there you go. For me, it's just I'm glad you guys are downtown. I agree that it didn't have that indie PopCon vibe, like you were saying, because of the building. Because I think the building does have a lot to do with the fun you're going to have. I think that, because I know we went to Lexington Comic and Toy Con, and there was a lot of things in the building that they have that in, which is the Rupp Arena. I was like, ooh, I love this place. This is such a nice convention center. And I think that does have a lot to do with it, because I mean that's where you're basically living the whole weekend, right? Is there. So for the Kentucky International Convention Center, it is such a great building. And actually, when I come to PopCon Louisville this August, that'll be the first time I've been in that building since I moved down here. So I've had no reason to come, since the first time I went there was when we just moved down here, and I have had no reason to go in that building. And so finally, I have something to look forward to in there again, and I'm super stoked for that. I want to say this too. What is it that are you guys trying to? Because I know some people will say, "Oh, I mean, there's some of the guests at Indy are also at Louisville," and are you guys trying to do what you can to set the two conventions as their own entity? Like, what is it? How does that work? Because now you're running two shows now a year.
Yeah. So
what's that been like?
There are some staples. So there are some guests that work great no matter when, where, or how often you see them. And those might be crossovers. Are we going to bring Elijah Wood to both events? No, that's not a thing. That's not the way it works. There will always be some crossovers, whether it be from Indy's event last year to Louisville's event this year. Not between the events in the same year. I don't see that ever happening, but there might be some close in proximity time. So like we had Roger Clark and Rob Weedoff in Louisville last year, and they're in Indy this year. But Rob is a Hoosier. So So we've actually become pretty good acquaintances, and it's just like having a friend there at this point for
Nice.
Wonderful.
And so there will always be those, and having a second event and eventually a third and a fourth, you can do multi-city deals with these celebrities. So we're also working. We'll also be able to leverage that moving forward as well. Once Louisville is able to sustain something like that.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's awesome, man. That's great. Like, does it make you nervous at all running two shows? Are you kind of somewhat settled in now, having done it for a year? Or
financially nervous, sure, but that's true for every show every year.
Well, that, yeah.
If you build it, will they come? But
right, yeah, right.
The stress has nothing to do with the operation of the event. So as like you said, we're not perfect, but on the scale of events of our size, we're pretty darn good at what we do. So that's not the stress point. It takes a lot of time to organize it all. So in order to get to that comfort level of how operationally things are smooth, it takes a lot of time, and it takes people and effort. And but we keep throwing that effort and those people at it every year. So so that you don't get to criticize as much as you may be looking for.
Have you guys considered doing like a 2-show pass? Like
we did do that last year.
Yeah.
We did a multi-city superfan. It's the limitation is the ticketing system. Our old system, which we're on still this year, and our new system, which we'll be on next year, probably just don't support it. So it makes it difficult. Because the last thing we need to do is create more operational tasks for us to do, and that would be a manual thing in our current ticketing platforms. So we're not taking that on yet.
Okay.
I like the idea very much and have mentioned it to both ticketing people, but that's not something that we have the non-manual capability of doing. It just doesn't exist.
I know for Louisville, you guys had a pretty easy, or I guess, well, the parking situation was something. I'll say that for that. Do you feel pretty confident about the parking situation now that you're going to be downtown? Because I mean, you guys do a downtown show already, and you've been doing a downtown show for a very long time.
For Indy or for Louisville?
For Louisville. I know you've been doing a show in Indy.
We're still well, I mean, there's lots of parking in downtown Louisville. We'll be learning that right along with everybody else. So I am not an expert on downtown Louisville parking yet. That has not been uploaded into my brain yet.
You will be. I've never had a problem parking downtown in Louisville. I've gone to Louisville. I've been to the Bats game several times. Never had any issues. I go to tons of events at the Williams Center. Never had any issues. So I think you guys will be just fine. There's lots of places to park down there. So, well, that's what we got for this episode. And Carl, thank you so much for being on our show, guys. If you don't have your tickets yet, get your tickets to Indy. Just go to both shows. Go all 3 days to those shows, and just go have a ton of fun. You're gonna see some magic. You're gonna see some magic shows there. I loved the magic shows when we went.
We had a lot of fun last year looking at those.
If you're curious, you can go to our YouTube, youtube.com/the-domain-GPC. Look at our vlogs. I do a series called The Con Man. That's me, and I'm not trying to con anyone. Unless I'm trying to con you into coming to a con with me, you know what I'm saying? But look at our vlogs. We showcased the magic, which was a lot of fun. There. There's going to be a drag show in Indy, which is a lot of fun. I had a blast going to that. That was a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to going to that too. But even if that's not your thing, maybe magic's not your thing. Maybe drag shows aren't your thing. There's going to be something there that's going to be your thing. I mean, if you're a Doctor Who fan, if you like video games, you're into Harry Potter, if you're into, I don't know, Lord of the Rings. I hear there's a couple people. Go find your thing. Check out the schedule. The schedule is up. I know you had just put the schedule up for Indy not too long ago. So you can go to popcon.us. Pick the show that you're going to, which you're going to both. Come on, you're going to both. You're going to both. I mean, if you live in Indy, there's no reason you can't make an hour and a half drive down to Louisville. And likewise, it's the other way around too. If you're down here in Louisville, scope to Indy, it's not drive, but go and come hang out with us. Say hello if you see us. We're gonna be there. I know that the Next Level podcast will be at the podcast stage, I believe, at 3 p.m. on Saturday of PopCon. That'll be the 27th. And then I know, our friends Josh and Big Don, who we just had on our show with us last time, they are there for the Established Facts and Stable. They're going to be there that weekend as well. And come, meet Bryce, Josh, and myself. We're going to be there. And if you see Carl, go talk to him. He's not going to bite you. He might not be able to talk for a long time because, he does run. He has a show to run,
But I will stop and talk.
But he will stop and talk.
He's a big dog.
And then I did say that I have an announcement to make because for the first time at any convention ever, I'm going to cosplay. That's right. I have never cosplayed at any convention I have ever been to. Ever. And for the very first time on Saturday of PopCon Indy, I will be cosplaying. What am I going to be cosplaying as? You're just gonna have to come to PopCon to
Nacho
find out.
Libre.
I know.
Well, you got to tell me because I might try to pair up with you.
Yeah, don't steal my idea. It's a pretty great idea.
No, I might just try to.
You should know who I'm gonna be cosplaying as, just so you'll find out when I'm there on Saturday at PopCon. It's nothing too intricate. It's not like it's a costume I have to work real hard at. But I will be cosplaying on Saturday.
Sweet.
It's high time I get into the cosplay act, and maybe I'll even enter the cosplay.
There you go.
Too. It'd be kind of funny.
Contest.
Nice. Who I'm cosplaying as. Anyway, but thank you so much to Carl for joining us once again. We super duper appreciate you.
Yes, thank you.
And
very much.
Thank you to my amazing co-host Josh Thundershaver and the man full of BS Bryce Schumacher, big BS over there.
And we will see you guys. Of mine.
Right. We will see you guys at PopCon in about a week and a half. Until then, thank you guys for listening to our show. Take it easy, guys.